Hello, welcome back to TGTV, and more importantly, welcome back to the McLaren 720S. This is, I think, the second time I've driven it, because I picked it up the other day, which you will no doubt have seen. But since then it has been locked away. So I've managed to get out after work in the 720, shut up. And I thought I'd just run through exactly why I bought this car, because a lot of people are like, why didn't you get a Ferrari? Why didn't you get a Lamborghini? Blah, blah, blah. But there's very, very important reasons why I bought this car. And also I'm going to go through the spec as well, because it's quite a punchy spec. The colour has divided a lot of people. A lot of people are loving it, in fairness, which I do, obviously. But I will go through the spec as well, because I think it's quite important to go into exactly why this car's turned up in this colour and it has got the bits that it's got. So let's take a little look around the outside. I'll talk it all through and then we'll go for a little spin. So let's have a look. First things first then, the paint. That's the most obvious thing. Personally, when I saw the press cars in this colour, glacier white, wherever the part of England you're from or the world, glacier white, that was the only colour I actually wanted in this car. I think light colours in this car especially really show off the lines. You get these sockets that really pop out, and all the kind of aero and whatnot, you can really see it. I think dark colours don't see this car at all. It looks mean, but then it just looks like any other supercar. So to really kind of accentuate all the kind of aero and the wind going all over the gaff, light colour. So yep, glacier white. The wheels are these 5-spoke lightweight wheels. So I think these were, I'm going to be awful and talk about money, I think these were a £3 or £4 grand option maybe, these wheels. So they're not the basic ones, but I don't think they're the most expensive either. To be honest with you, this was a launch spec, so I've touched on this before. This is actually a launch spec car, which means, oh, I've left the nose lift up, haven't I? Cardinal sin doing that. Okay, so it was a launch spec car anyway, which means it's kind of a set menu of specs. I couldn't choose the wheels. In fact, I couldn't choose any of the colours. They came in like a, you can have a white one, you can have a red one, you can have a black one kind of vibe. So yeah, I probably would have gone for the 10-spoke wheels if I'd be given the absolute choice, possibly. But now these have arrived, don't really care. So anyway, also on here, the McLaren, obviously, calipers here. They are this very nice kind of polished kind of chrome vibe. I think this is a £1,200 option, and you rarely see calipers in this colour, so I really like these. And also the centre caps are, sorry, I've still got the cough I've had for probably about 6 videos now. I should probably get that looked at, and I don't know why I'm smirking, because I'm actually quite worried. Okay, so those carbon centre caps. Moving round, we'll do the interior in a bit, so hold fire. So coming around the car, you'll notice that all these kind of aero-y bits, on some cars these are carbon fibre, and on this car it's kind of this stealth metallic titanium grey, don't know, but I think it looks really nice. And there's no kind of random carbon all over the outside of the car. It's all in keeping. It's all the same theme all the way around. And then coming around the back here, mind the dog poop in. You nearly walked into it. Yeah, I mean the back of the car is self-explanatory really. I don't think there's anything really to talk about here. I haven't got a sports exhaust though. I intend to fiddle around with this. I'm going to have to speak to McLaren first to see what it's going to do to the warranty, because I don't fancy putting the exhaust on here, the gearbox falling out, and then being faced with a 30 grand bill. So I'm going to have to speak to McLaren about that. I might try and speak to HSO, MSO, and see whether or not they'll do an exhaust to me, whether or not they'll retrofit the sports exhaust that you can option with this car, because as a Lux car you couldn't put the sports exhaust on it before purchase. So something's going to be done, but I don't know what yet. So stay tuned for lots and lots of clickbait about that. And also, Jesus Christ, I might also do the tips black as and when the time comes. That's really hot actually. And I think that's pretty much it on the outside. In terms of spec, before I bought the car, I was toying with de-chroming this whole roofline here. Just taking it to like Dub Customs or wherever and getting it de-chromed. But now I've seen the car, I actually quite like it. It fits in with some of the aluminium stuff inside, so I think I'm going to leave it alone. But let me know in the comments anyway if you think I should de-chrome. And if any of you tell me to wrap it in matte black, I'll fight you. I will find you and I'll fight you. Okay, so why did I buy a 720S then? Why did I buy a 720S and not a 488? Why did I buy one and not an Aventador S? Well, I kind of have actually. Put simply, this thing, if you park it next to a 488, for example, I'm trolling the 488 and I don't know why. If you park it next to a 488, it makes the 488, to my mind, look like a vintage shoe. So I parked one up next to it the other day, and yeah, it just made it look awful. This thing looks like it belongs orbiting the moon. There's nothing out there that looks anything like this. So, and it's British design. Had to go with it, really. Stats wise, I've been reading various reports saying that you could give a 488 almost a 3-second head start, let it get to 60 miles an hour, and this thing would still beat it to 160 or 170 miles an hour. And the 488 is a bonkers fast car. So it gives you kind of an idea of what this thing can do. And also I've seen various videos recently, Salamandrin, I think, and a chap called Misha something or other. They have put up videos of this thing and an LT, and this thing wipes the floor with an LT. And as we know, LTs wipe the floor with everything. So cut a long story short, this is ludicrous. It's absolutely unnecessary for London. It's unnecessary for anywhere, but it's basically hypercar speed. It looks like a hypercar, but it's not hypercar price. Win. So anyway, let's go and have a little look inside the car, go for a little spin. I can talk you through some of the options inside because there's some cool stuff inside. And yeah, I can waffle on a bit more, so let's come along. Oh yeah, the doors are cool as well. The doors are like the main thing really, but God, I forgot to mention them. Okay, cheers. Now, I've always said one of the best bits about owning a car like this is being able to share it with people, and nothing gives me more pleasure than allowing kids to sit in it, and that not in a horrible way, not in an odd way. But I've just been filming a little video, just literally 5 meters away. I look back and there's a kid sat in here, and I say kid, he was probably what, like 15? Sat in here, scuffing his shoes all over the gaff, prodding everything, and he didn't ask whether you could get in it or anything. And I'm not moany, and I used to be a little shit when I was younger, but kind of wound me up, to be fair. A little bit disrespectful. He was excited though, so we'll let him off. I'm happy with that. I don't mind too much. No harm done. Sort of. He's now in the river. Okay, so we're in the 720S. I'm not gonna lie, this is my 3rd time, I think, now driving this thing. So once home, once the car park that I just filmed in, and this is the 3rd time. But first impressions are that it's extremely comfortable. People bang on about McLaren suspension, saying, you know, it's like a Rolls Royce and blah, blah, blah. I think around town, the best setting is comfort suspension and sport powertrain. So you get that kind of throttle response of sport, but the comfort ride, and I'm not joking, and Ollie will vouch for this here, going over speed bumps in this thing with the nose lift up, it's like going over it in like a very comfortable saloon. I'm just trying to think, like a Bentley GTC or something like that. You know there's a speed bump there and you can kind of feel it and kind of hear it, but you're not really that bothered by it. In the GT3 RS I just came from, there'd be a crash, you'd lose part of your spine. I would die. Yeah, but no, this thing's amazing. But anyway, let's talk about options in here because that is what we're here to do. So in here, again, the luxury theme, we have Gorilla Glass in the roof, which is the all-important glass option. I think that is a couple grand to spec that, but in my opinion, if you have one of these things and you don't have that in the roof, I don't know, put yourself in a bin. Also in here we have Bowers & Wilkins stereo. There's a 12 speaker stereo system. I've tested it a little bit, I've not kind of bedded it in properly yet, but it works very, very well. There are no rattles at all, which sometimes if you have a very powerful hi-fi system, like the upgraded ones in these cars, sometimes you will get a rattle. And there aren't any rattles yet. Other things to note in here, there is no real carbon fibre in here whatsoever, apart from the exposed monocage 2, which is the cage that the whole car's made of. And that is an optional extra as well. I think you have to pay to get the kind of the monocage exposed and get that kind of forged carbon vibe. Other things in here, that's pretty much it. To be fair, the seats are not the bucket seats, they are the comfort type seats. They're very, very comfortable. They've got lots of adjustment. They are a vibe. The colour scheme in here, I believe, is called black and shale. So shale, I think, is a tone of grey, which fits in with the colour scheme of the car very nicely indeed. And the kind of the stitching's sort of contrast. It fits in with this paint job outside, and that's pretty much it in here. So, in terms of the cost of this car, because I know people love money, of the launch editions, this was one of the cheaper ones. Because of the lack of carbon fibre, which doesn't bother me at all, because of the lack of carbon fibre, it is a lot cheaper than, oh, there's a nice FF, ahoy hoy, it's a lot cheaper, a huge amount cheaper. So in terms of not losing the roof over my head when I come to sell the car, which I don't think these cars are going to do anyway, this car is a very safe proposition. And in fact, I've been bombarded with messages asking to buy this car already for way over list price, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to hold on to it because I love it too much. But yeah, that was a very long waffly way of saying, because of the lack of carbon fibre, this thing was actually very reasonably priced. It is at the lower end of the launch specs, and you can look those up online for how much they cost, because I feel a bit embarrassed saying how much the car actually is. Finance anyway, so not my money, kind of. I won't be laughing one day when the bailiffs come round. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of inside the car. I'm just trying to think. Oh yeah, it's got parking sensors, 360-degree camera, so it's got one of those cool sort of bird's eye things that you can see above the car, and I don't know how it does it, but it's got one of those as well. I think that's pretty much it. Parking sensors, blah blah blah. Ooh, wave, ahoy. Enjoyable. I think, honestly though, one of the best things about this car is the absolute scene it causes everywhere it goes. I mean, I've had silly cars in the past, but in terms of causing an absolute nuisance everywhere it goes, people that don't even care about cars, everyone stops what they're doing to find out what on earth this thing is. You can't park anywhere without people coming up to you saying, what is it? Or kids just sitting in it without you knowing, in some cases. But no, it's cool. It gets a really positive reaction. And to my mind, it looks, dare I say, more outrageous and better than the P1. There, I've said it. Shut up! That's the parking sensors. You can turn them off on a button, which is... oh, I don't know, whatever. Let's let it beep. Shut up! It's not meant to be doing this, it's meant to shut up. Anywho, let's stop now. Another new feature for this car is the new iris system in here, so the kind of the sat nav and the screen, and thing that looks like an iPad that's shoved in the dash. First impressions, and my very limited use of it so far, but everything seems to work very, very well. Everything's clear. It is a league above that of the one that I found in my F12. Thank God. It is leagues above that I found in the Hurricane, and it's on a par, I guess, with... oh, is that a Veyron up there? Is that? No. And it is on par with the Porsche PCM system, which you'd expect to work very well because it's Porsche and they don't mess things up like that. So yeah, so far in terms of an ownership experience, things are going very, very well. Although that said, one thing I find quite annoying, the nose lift is very slow. It does take a while to go up and down, and it's a bit fiddly to do as well. If you kind of come across like an unexpected bump, it is a bit of a pain in the arse. You've got to press the button in and push the stalk up. It doesn't sound like that much effort, but it is. And the other thing as well, my key doesn't seem to really do much to the car. I have to kind of wave my key around near the car to kind of get it to open. It's not a very smooth entry to the car. I don't know whether that's just specific to my car, but it is actually really annoying. I will take it in though at some point to Ascot and see what the deal is with that, because I've got a feeling one day I'm going to go and try and open the car and it will just continue to ignore me and I won't be able to open it at all. So I'm panicking slightly about that. Don't know whether it's a battery issue or what, but yeah, the key and the car are not very responsive together. But yeah, all cars have teething issues, I guess. My GT3 RS, the passenger window thing didn't work. Well, it stopped working. Every car has its problems, so I'll take that for the time being. But I will, of course, keep you posted on my Instagram. If anything else goes wrong, I will troll accordingly. And also, the main issue with this car as well is the front plate has fallen off. Again. It is actually too fast for London. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Totally stupid. But anything more than a Golf GTI is pretty much too fast for London, to be fair. So can't moan.
GG.
Hello, mate.
No, can I take a picture with you?
Yeah, of course you can. Anyway, that's it. Signing out now. There's a bit of chaos being caused because I've left it in a very busy place, causing a bit of scene, but this is kind of very typical for the 720S. Everyone just seems to get mental over it. So that's it. Let me know in the comments as well what you want me to do with the car, and don't say drive it into the sea, but let me know in the comments anyway what you want me to do. Do you want me to do road trips? Do you want me to shut up? Tell me. Anyway, thanks for watching, subscribe, blah, 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 and I'll see you again soon. Bye.